Your intro page.
All right, sorry. Um, we've just streamed live now, so we're starting now.
Okay.
Yep. I hope you can see my screen now, right?
Yes, I can.
Just to confirm. All right then. Okay, so good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of our Belle by Choice live chat. And on today's episode, sorry, we're going to be going pidgin. We'll be speaking in pidgin so that um those of us, those of our women out there, I mean, for those young women and girls who might not be privileged enough to understand, we can also catch up alongside because today's conversation is good. It's more targeting to our young people. So yeah, just like I mentioned earlier, welcome to another exciting episode of our Believe by Choice Facebook live chat and YouTube live chat. Yeah. So for these Believe by Choice live chats, the place where we they come discuss about our sexual reproductive health and rights matter. And then as you already know, say Belle by Choice program where African Girls Empowerment Network them don't bring come. Where they bring us better yarn about our reproductive health, and then they help us get the right informations where be say person no go come tell you say why you wan go do this kind thing, why you go do this thing, nobody go judge you because you don't get the right information. You go fit follow the better pattern, carry uptake your model contraception or family planning. So on today's episode, we're going to discuss about the myths boosting on HIV/AIDS among young people. So as you know already, this matter na matter wey be say a lot of people, even our young people dem, they confused about. Yes, because my use the word confused, sorry o, because a lot of people they hear am say HIV, and person wey don hear HIV like this go fit say HIV na dead sen ten ce be that na. By the time you don hear HIV, if they don tell you say you go do test you and you be positive, sorry, that one even before the death go come sef, you don already kill yourself because already your mind don dey beat say I don get HIV, I go soon die. So that kind thing fit cut your mind make you die even before the time wey you suppose die. So before we proceed to go deeply into the talk, where we would like to introduce our party people dem, the people where they help us, where make us dey gidigba for ground. They fit dey host this show. So we dey say African Girls Empowerment, African Women Development Fund dem, thank you o. Global Fund for Women, Women First Digital, Gilead, Moment for Women Alliance, DKT International Nigeria, Cross River State Ministry of Health, UNFPA, and Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Una thank you for this better thing when they do to support us and our young women dem. May they get the right information where concern their health matter. So on today's episode, we are privileged enough to have an amazing woman in the house who will be speaking to us on this. We are honored to have Esther Etuk Okon. So we'll be doing a brief intro just for us to have an understanding of who we are going to be interacting with today. So Esther Etuk is a dedicated public health officer with a strong passion for serving vulnerable and marginalized communities. With an educational background in public and community health, Esther excels in excelling and community engagement. um, Her expertise lies in developing and implementing effective health programs that address the unique needs of underserved populations. Esther is committed to advocating for health equity and social justice, and she is driven by a desire to make a positive impact in the lives of those she serves. Etuk also has over 5 years of experience working with international NGOs and has developed expertise in rendering HIV/AIDS and TB services, both at state and national levels. She has participated in several health research surveys, including NFCM in 2021, IBBSS in 2020, and NAIIS in 2018. So we are honored to have you on the call, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, so back to the discussion where we stop halfway. You know, say when person they talk say, I get, if for instance I just go up to hospital and I tell person say I get HIV, what will be the first thing where you think say the health person supposed to for me? A lot of us will not know because say you will feel like if I go, there'll be stigma, there'll be as in social isolation from even your peers. It may not shock you say you carry HIV, person will love you pass. That person will run away, leave you because say you carry HIV. But today, this yarn where we get today will help us understand the matter where go help us prevent ourselves. May not be say anybody where does get small where they just hear say get HIV now, don't run, leave them alone, make it suffer alone. Because even at the time, that stage, in the person even need una the more. So we'll be having addressing some of the myths that we have here. And one of the myths that we have in the house is you can't get HIV from oral sex. These are just usually normal, you know, how do I call it? These are the myths that we're talking about here. Every young adolescent or a young person or a woman out there will say, I beg, if I go do this kind of thing, that is their own understanding. So we'll be hearing better on the facts about this from our speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for having me again today. Um, the topic we'll be addressing today is quite an exciting one. And
Mm,
I believe that before we end this session, a lot of understanding, misconceptions, and a lot of beliefs will be corrected. You already know what means. Is actually is a you can say that is a long-standing belief, mostly culturally. The cultural belief that has been passed on or passed down from generations to generation. Some beliefs can be as old as our age, and people
mm,
have held on to it strongly, that even with a lot of information, a lot of sensitization, people are still finding it difficult to
difficult,
leave
yeah.
that belief and then believe what we are trying to show them, even with evidence, because the ones they've been holding on to, that have been told to them by their forefathers, or things that they see on
Mm,
social media, they hold on to
that's
it
true.
even with evidence or without facts. Okay, so we'll start with the miss. Can you put the question again?
All
That
right.
oral sex. Thank you. Yeah, so they miss that HIV cannot be. Yeah, so they miss that you can't get HIV from oral sex. Very interesting. You know why I say this is really interesting? Because a lot of young people now, so many youth of our days do not have this information. In a bit to stay away from or try to prevent themselves or protect themselves from having contracting HIV. They say instead
Mm,
of having sex, let me do oral sex,
mm,
because at least this one, nothing is entering from
nothing.
from the men, this vagina. So we are all
Mm,
adults. So I would like to use the right words. Okay, so now what is even
exactly.
oral sex to start? Yes.
Mm,
So oral sex is a sexual activity where people use mouth or lips or to stimulate, partner's genital, and we know what that means. So, and
mm,
as much as a lot of people may not know, body fluids, including semen and vaginal secretion, can also contain HIV. I know that the rate at which the transmission it might be really slim, but it can still happen. So even oral sex, you can still have, as much as HIV can be seen in semen, especially the ones with high viral load. So it can still be transmitted.
Wow, that's amazing. This is one thing that we fail to understand because we believe that, oh, because it's not going through the vagina, nothing go do me. I beg, make I do this other pattern. Okay, so the second one we have there, being diagnosed with HIV is a death sentence. This one, this thing, if you come up for people mouth. So, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, it's so sad to see that with all the education about and information about HIV, people still believe that when once someone have HIV, that person is like close to death, like person is no more useful, the person is useless. And I'm like, HIV does, to start with, HIV does not show on the face. Sometimes when people just see someone looking slim, looking dry, they just conclude that this person, they suspect this person. Like say this person gets HIV. Then talk more when you now get diagnosed and then they tell you, oh, you have HIV. So now, even this is not just from the people, even the people that have been diagnosed now, personally, to people that have been diagnosed, you understand? They believe that, oh, when once they told them you're HIV positive, they feel my life has ended. I'm no more useful. I can't do anything anymore. But it's not like that. Now, there are drugs, and those drugs have gone through clinical trials. The drugs are really, really effective. So if someone has HIV, it doesn't mean that it has come to the end for that person. Person will still be useful, but you have to take your drugs seriously. You have to take your drugs very well. Now, it's very important to get diagnosed early. That's another thing. Early diagnosis. If you are diagnosed of HIV early, and then you start taking your drugs early also, because there are so many people that are in denial. It takes so much, like thorough counseling before that person will finally accept that he or she has HIV. So when once someone is diagnosed early, and then the person accepts his or her new status, and then start taking drugs on time. And then it doesn't end with just commencing the treatment. The person has to be to take the treatment seriously, has to adhere. I know people they still do adherence counseling for people that have HIV. So when once you adhere to your treatment, you take your drugs as you've been told religiously, you stick to your treatment regimen, you see that life continues, life moves on. Nobody will see you on the road and call you back. I'm like, it be like you look like person where go get HIV. You get HIV. So you still go ahead with your daily activities. It doesn't stop you from doing or being who you are supposed to be or who you're meant to be. Do you understand? If you were a student before you got diagnosed of HIV, it doesn't stop you from schooling. It doesn't affect your grades, or does it? HIV does not affect people's grades. If
Not
you
at
already,
all.
you're already working somewhere, maybe NGO, state government, anywhere at all, it will not end your job. It will not stop anything. And once you take your drugs seriously, you take it very well, you'll be healthy, you'll be strong. So you will still be like any other person. So it's not like you become so weak that you cannot do anything. So being diagnosed of HIV is not, it's never a death statement sentence with the right treatment now that they have. So the treatment is really
Mm.
effective.
Wow, thank you so much for that, for sharing that insight. Yeah. So what's your take in this other myth that says it is the sole responsibility of HIV positive individual to initiate safe sex? Imagine somebody will get the HIV. Some people where we don't know say they
Oh,
get the HIV, we be say they not happy with themselves. They go can't tell you say I get HIV. I beg.
okay, so this is really interesting. You know, HIV, or like, it's not the sole responsibility of someone that has HIV alone to initiate safe sex. Now,
Mm,
it's a shared responsibility, because it's
mm,
believed that before you go into sex, at that moment, that's your sexual partner, that's your partner. There should be
mm,
communication. Both parties need to give consent, you understand, to have
mm,
sex. So
yeah.
it's not supposed to be a one-sided thing or a one-side thing. So
Mm,
both someone that has HIV and someone that does not have HIV, both of them are supposed to, take responsibility for safe sex, use condom. There are some people that, oh, they're like, I don't want condom, I don't want this. No, that's why I started by saying it's a shared responsibility and both
responsibility.
parties need to consent.
Mm,
So you know that you are protecting yourself. Start with yourself first. If your
okay.
partner doesn't want to have safe sex, doesn't want to use condom, you have the right to opt out,
Mm,
right? Yes, so it's a shared responsibility. It's not supposed to be one-sided. So but whether you're HIV negative or you're HIV positive, everyone has a responsibility when it comes to safe sex, because that is what we are preaching every day. It is our public health space. Everyone is supposed to take charge of their sexual health.
health. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah,
You're
so
welcome.
some people say PrEP is an excuse for people to have unprotected sex, especially young people, because what will you say about that?
Okay. Let me just explain what PrEP means, because I don't like assuming that people know things. So to start with, PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. So now there's another one that is called PrEP, but this particular one we are dwelling on PrEP now. So it's actually for people that want to prevent or protect themselves from having, HIV. When PrEP newly came in, it was primarily for discordant couples. You know what discordant couple is? Um, Discordant couple is when one partner has HIV, when one partner is HIV positive and the other partner is HIV negative. So while the other person is taking the normal ART, the other one is taking PrEP. So PrEP is the drug given to people to prevent them from having HIV, but of course, it's mostly for people that are exposed.
Mm,
So PrEP is not even something, it's not for everybody. If you know that you are sexually active and maybe your partner has HIV, or you just want to, or you don't trust your sexual partner, and then you want to prevent yourself or protect yourself from having HIV, then you can go ahead and take PrEP. But it's not an excuse
an
for
excuse.
young people to have unprotected sex. It's
Sex.
not an excuse at all. Reason being that PrEP has its own function, its own
Mm,
role. Uh, is mainly for HIV. It doesn't prevent one from having other STIs. I know some people will say HIV is the one that is incurable. There is no cure for it now, so we better make I prevent myself. I know, like young people, they like to abuse things a lot.
that's
And
it.
once they
Oh.
see something, they want to abuse it. They want to be taking it. Like
Mm,
every time. But it's not like that. um you you need to know what PrEP really means, and then you know that there are other STIs that are also incurable. It's not only HIV. So it's not an excuse for people to have unprotected sex.
Sex at all.
No, it's not.
Abeg as una dey lis ten make una dey practice wetin dem dey talk now no, make e no be say we go talk finish una go come go back come still tell person say you get HIV. Abeg dey far away from me. Okay, so the next we have on the list is I'm too old or too young to worry about something like HIV. You know, this age thing, this gender stuff is playing out again in HIV. Please, what's your take on this, ma?
Yeah, as funny as this might sound or look, you will see that people
Mm,
actually have this belief. They hold on to it so tight.
mm.
Um, Recently, I was having discussion with my IT students, and they said something similar to this. I don't forget trivial. Me where I never even. I'm
Can
like
you imagine?
HIV.
Wow, with so much courage.
Yes, but of course, you know, I didn't I didn't judge the person. I
Mm,
didn't judge the individual
yeah,
because in public health space we don't judge people. It could
sure.
just be she didn't know, so she just said that thing out of ignorance. So now HIV does not discriminate age, just as is no respecter of person, tribe, or whatever. Anybody
Mm,
can have HIV. Even a baby, as innocent as a baby in the womb is,
mm,
a mother that has HIV, that is HIV positive, and is not taking her drugs, or is not taking her drugs well, can still pass on HIV to the child. Could be during the pregnancy, during or during childbirth, or during delivery, or during breastfeeding. But let's leave that part. Let's leave babies now.
mm,
Now, to the young people that thinks they are too young to have HIV, as long as you are practicing sexual intercourse, or you're having sex,
mm,
or as long as you share unsterilized sharp objects,
mm.
you can still have HIV. HIV not dey fear age.
At
If you think
all.
say because you dey too young, this one let me use pidgin because it's for that age grade.
Abeg
You think
o.
say if
Important.
you think say because you dey too young, you go dey sleep with man, or you go dey
Mm,
do wetin adults dey do according to what our elders say. You go okay, you go and start engaging in sexual activities without
mm,
protection. You
mm,
can have HIV. You can get HIV through that means.
mm,
Or you share unsterilized sharp objects. Now, I like to bring it so close to they say charity begins at home.
mm.
Even remember what I shared in the last episode, like when once it comes to HIV, there's nothing like trust. They know they trust person, which
Okay.
HIV can trust in
Really?
every area. So that your brother, that your sister, your mother, your father can have HIV and you are not aware.
Mm.
Yes. You know, if someone does not tell you that he or she has HIV, you can never tell.
You no
It's
go
not
know.
by body type or
Mm,
color. So imagine that your sister or your brother in the house, your closest sibling has HIV, and you go about sharing those things. Say, after all, not they sleep with man. Not be just razor blade. Not be just this, not be just that. You never can. And one thing about HIV, you know, they talk when it dey enter body.
na so.
It's very silent. HIV is so silent, but it's always waiting for opportunity to just get in there.
Mm.
So irrespective of your age, if you engage in sexual activities without protection, and then if you share unsterilized sharp objects, even in your household members, they can have HIV. So HIV does not respect age. Not be by say I'm too young or I'm too old. Even an old man can still have HIV.
Can still get HIV.
A young adult can still have HIV, can still get HIV, yes. So that answers it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so being a young person who has been treated, who has been tested HIV positive, means that I can never have children, right? Is that supposed to be?
No, that's not true. That is not true. This is another strong myth that parents, religious leaders, a lot of people have spread, that believes
Mm,
that even, I don't know, even some churches, when once they see that someone is HIV positive and they will not even allow them to wait, they want to like make that decision for them, you
mm,
know. So if person gets HIV, as I said earlier, and you take your drugs, you start your treatments, you adhere to your treatments, your pikin no fit get HIV. There are mothers here in our hospital that actually have HIV, but their children, they have their
they
babies
no get.
and HIV negative, they no get. So
Hmm,
person fit get
imagine.
HIV and the pikin no go get.
Hmm,
And now because e get wetin, even partners these days, e get wetin they call U equals U. That one na for partners. Undetectable equals untransmittable. So now that's
but you,
how.
but you know say when they used to say if person dey breastfeed the pikin go contact her from the breast. So this one, how dey take breastfeed the pikin when e no come get the HIV?
There are drugs that they give to those babies.
Mm,
Anyways, this information is better, ladies, usually better they give it out in the hospital. So I
mm,
just like to stop here. But
it's
there are
okay.
ways that they do it. The baby will not have HIV. A lot
Oh,
recently because of the drugs. Baby will not have.
wow, that's
And it's always
amazing.
advisable when if you're HIV positive as a mother, go to the hospital. Stop
Mm,
patronizing CBS. Go to the hospital.
abeg,
Let them know about yours. In fact, they
help
will
us tell
even
dem o. They go
so
they fit buy jerry
yes.
jerry orishirishi just join
Yes.
together take am.
So
Abeg,
they'll
I no
be
wan make my pikin
careful.
get.
They'll take care of they'll take care of you very well during the pregnancy, and they'll be extra careful during
Mm,
delivery.
wow,
So there
that's
are babies
amazing.
like that. So people should not be afraid.
Okay, oh, so if my
Because
boyfriend or my husband come run test and the two of us come know say we don get the HIV, na it be say we fit dey knack without condom abi or any means of contraception.
okay. So this particular one is almost similar to the belief that if your partner una go do test,
Mm,
una two test negative. Both of you, like you went to do test in the hospital, and then they told you that both of you are negative. It's okay for both of you to go ahead and have unprotected sex. I also
okay,
want to to educate people on that. There's what they call window period.
okay.
So window period is a time which is a time for which someone was could have been exposed or was exposed to HIV through
Mm,
whatever means. So the time that they did this test, it's very possible that during that time, um, that it's very possible that during that time that the HIV antibody has not produced there. So and you know what, the test kits look out for HIV antibodies. So if
mm,
the HIV body hasn't um, generated yet, the results
Mm.
will show negative. But it may shock you to know that even during that period, the person can still pass on the HIV. You can still contract
Mm.
HIV, yeah, during that period.
Wow.
Yes, that's why when you go to do HIV test, even if it's negative, they always say come back in 3 months' time. Yeah,
Mm.
so they want to say, okay, if you come back and you okay, no problem. So it's not even advisable that after you do tests, it's still an option. We don't impose it on people that it's okay for you to still go ahead and have unprotected sex. We always have in mind this window period. All
Hmm.
right, so back to the quest to our mates that if my husband, my boyfriend or
If my
husband,
boyfriend or my husband, two of us we
yeah,
can't go, we can't run test, and the both of us can't test positive. So wetin we go come do? Na free chat be that now. No need for protection again. Wetin we dey protect? Wey two of us don get am.
um, no. You know why I said no? To start with, you only know yourself, especially like boyfriend. I want to,
Okay.
speak from that angle. And the day plan on living together, you only know yourself that you're taking your drugs religiously, you're taking your drugs very well, you're adhering
Mm.
to your drugs, so maybe
Mm.
for you, your viral load has been suppressed. But what about
Okay.
your partner? So if your partner's viral load is not suppressed, then it's almost to no use that of your taking drugs because
Mm.
and then you could also contact contract another strain of the virus. So it's not usually advisable.
Okay. So that
Yes.
means may we still use condom even though we don test positive. May we still use condom, abi? No problem.
If for husbands and for husband and wife. There's someone in the main office. There's someone in the main office. You meet someone in the main office. No, I'm doing something. Yes, later. Mm. Sorry about that.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
so yeah, so it's always okay, like for partners like that, you try and encourage each other to take the drug so
Okay.
that both of you
Mm.
will attain a viral load suppression.
Okay. No
Yes, if
problem.
not,
Thank you. So having sex with someone who is HIV positive means you will contract HIV, Abby.
yeah, with the current U equals U,
Mm.
which means undetectable equals untransmittable. If you
Okay.
have sex with someone that the viral load is suppressed, HIV cannot be transmitted. You can't
Okay.
contract HIV. Yes, because the
Okay.
viral load is completely suppressed.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Oh. So initially, some people will say, person wey dey use they say promiscuous and drugs addictions are the root causes of HIV pandemic. So me, I wan understand why people dey come bring in promiscuous and drugs addiction inside HIV matter. How these two come relate together?
Okay. As in our world, in fact, let's bring it down to Africa. The cultural beliefs will always play out. They already believe that there is already an established belief that people are running with. Sorry, not an established belief. There's already a belief that people are running with that. Oh, person will get HIV. If you get HIV, means say you be waka waka. You
Mm-hmm.
dey follow plenty man,
Na
or
so
this person, or you are what's the other word?
you be ashawo na the
Yes, say
local
you be a
ala.
shadow.
Mhm.
Eh, And then drug addiction. They also have drug addicts. This one they take drugs. This one they. It's not really true. Let's stop discriminating against certain groups. Anybody can have HIV. Anybody can have HIV. And that's why I still hold on to that. When it comes to HIV, don't trust anyone because
Okay.
you
Oh.
see that most times is even the faithful girlfriends or the loyal, as they will often say, loyal girlfriend or loyal boyfriend. Or sometimes you see, even the first day, some people even have sex, they even have HIV on their first sexual encounter.
Dates. Mm.
So it's possible. So it's not because this person are waka waka or this person is ashawo. In fact,
Mm.
during the our IBBSS survey, we went to hotels and the rest to test those
Mm.
people. I was amazed to see that most of these sex workers with HIV negative because to them is business and they
Mm.
always have their condom. So they
Mm.
even take charge of their body more than the regular people
Mm.
because they say this one na my business, so I they
Na
use
so.
them, they get money. So anything like they are the ones that call, they are the ones that give the rules.
Mm.
You understand? So you
Exactly.
pay for their services, they give you the condition, you have to use condoms, you
Abide
have
by
to.
it.
Yeah,
Mm.
so it's not because someone is this. You see someone that is even promiscuous, or at the end of the day, they may not have the HIV, but of course, it's still part of the behaviors that can predispose one.
Mm.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. That can predispose one to HIV, to contracting HIV.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. All
Welcome.
right. Yeah, so we just have few questions that you need to throw light on that back up some of these myths that we've been talking about since. Okay,
Mm.
so now we're talking about the role. What role does social media play in spreading misinformation? You know, say the Nigeria will find ourselves, man, no use Nigeria alone because this one no be only Nigeria matter. Everybody, especially young people like us, we fit just sit down now, go dey do social
Mm.
media from morning till night. So anything wey we see na im we dey take. So how does this,
I
how
don't
this
make it.
one, how social media now come play role in spreading misinformation about this HIV matter?
Okay. I'm sorry about that, please.
It's okay.
Yes, so we are in the Gen Z
Abi na
Gen Z generation or a period or
mm,
whatever. So
na
social
so.
media actually plays strong role
Mm,
in spreading misinformation.
okay.
Nowadays we have so many people going into content creation. Everybody is now a content creator.
Mm,
Everybody
that's
wants
what I
to
noticed
post
though.
something, post anything, any information, anything.
Mm,
Some people talk about health related things and they are not even health inclined. Their own is just to set ring light and then, or some
don't
people will
go.
just sit in their house and begin to make IECs, make materials, send. And like
Hmm.
social media is good though. As
Hmm.
much as it can spread, it can also combat misinformation. So a lot of misinformation that people get are usually from social media. And you know that is these days almost every young adult have access to phone, to Android phones or digital this thing appliances. So they have phones, and it's so easy to post things, and
Hmm.
with a speed you will just come online, even though you don't even request for such information, you will see it pop up. and you start, and then you see people believe. So there are some people. It's not everybody that who are about researching things. So whatever
Mm,
information they see on social media, they take it and then they bring it home or bring it to their friends. They share it, and
mm,
that's how it keeps spreading.
mm,
People talk about, did you see this? Did you see that? And then some self-acclaimed doctors. There are so many on social media.
mm.
So it does a lot
Wow.
in
Tis well, oh,
misinformation.
God will help us. I beg, una dey careful. If una need information, right people, they wanna go feel reach out to, so that you go chat, and that is where we go bring. We want use this opportunity to also introduce our chat for health. Chat for health, dey gidigba for ground for you, make it help you provide that information wey you dey look for, even as a young person. I beg, make you no miss the opportunity. After now, I go share the number with you, make you feel reach out anytime when you want chat with chat for health. Chat for health, as you drop message, e go give you instant reply wey you need, wey go guide you through. Abeg, make we no dey go collect information for place wey we no suppose collect information. Okay, so the next one is, wetin be the barriers that prevent young people from seeking information about HIV/AIDS? This one, say some people generally dey lazy, but now they don dey target am to something else. So wetin be that barrier, wetin be that thing wey dey prevent us, wey be young people, from seeking that information from the right source?
Okay, so one strong reason or one strong barrier is stigma and fear. A lot of people are afraid that they will be judged. You know, as much as we've tried to talk about HIV, sensitize people, try to change their beliefs about HIV and all of that, you see that if you walk into a space and then you try to ask questions about HIV, first of all, they'll already start judging you. I mean, this one gets, you understand why they ask about HIV. So the fear of stigmatization or the fear of being judged is one of it. And also we have privacy concerns. You know,
Mm,
these days, just as we talked about social media, there are some, you think you want to, gain information about something, and then you try to be expressive, ask questions concerning HIV or concerning anything that is linked to sexual health. You know,
mm,
people will already carry that, and then they will not even consider confidentiality. So
mm.
people are afraid that their privacy might be tampered with. Someone is, I think there's a hand.
Okay. Yeah, please,
Please,
Udo,
someone you can
you can
unmute.
unmute to say hello.
Oh, okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah,
Thank you so much. This
you're welcome.
conversation is really something we need to talk about every day as healthcare
Okay.
practitioners and as members of the community, because like the saying about HIV goes that if you're not directly infected, you are affected. So, talking about
Mm,
how persons living with HIV are stigmatized on a daily, something that cuts across personal, family, community, society, and even up to the
mm,
policy level. Because if you review our
mm,
national working documents around HIV, you come to see that a lot of policies are developed to actually stigmatize against the persons we are trying to protect. For
mm,
example, is the lack of policy documents nationally that
mm,
talks about person living in HIV around the key population. Okay,
mm,
whereas research has shown that recently that is where the burden of HIV is really coming from. So these are the areas, and we need to begin to talk about. And I want to commend you for putting this together. And I must
mm,
thank the guest speaker who is dishing
mm,
out some wealth of knowledge and experience. to this great topic. It's just unfortunate that this program didn't have wide publicity to meet the target audience that should really be here. So I want to suggest that ongoing should be a lot of partnership, okay, a lot of mobilization to pull together stakeholders that will be able to reach our target audience, because adolescent age where Belle by choice should be focused on is actually the greatest
Exactly.
part of our growth process, because without adolescents they know adulthood, you get. So I
Yes.
commend this step, and I want to encourage to support that we do better by publicizing and ensuring that our target audience are met. Students in secondary school, entry level university, persons, there are a lot of ways we can publicize this and make it more enriching. So thank you and well done. I'm enjoying the conversation, so I'm just here and and be part of the let me learn from my madams. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that contribution. Yeah. So as we wrap up, I don't know if Ma'am, do you have anything other thing to say? What's the last word for our people out there? Because we're going to continue the conversation even next week, Thursday. So it's not going to be something we end today because this is broad, and there's still so many stigmas that we have
Yeah.
even left aside, because it wasn't shock when I heard that even church, I mean, cultural beliefs now has impacts in the lives of young people, especially when
Yeah.
they hear about oh, this one don't get HIV. And for instance, take for instance us that maybe in these Pentecostal churches, they'll just backside you, like, you this one, you don't dare wayward, that kind of, the way they will just tag you, will just make you being isolated. So I don't know if you have a last word, then we continue in the next episode on this conversation.
Okay,
Okay.
please,
Yes.
before my madam says something, because she's a madam, can I make another
All right.
contribution, please? Please.
Sure, you
Okay,
can.
okay, okay. So this topic is actually something that is appealing to me, because I have a lot of experience, programming and evaluating projects around HIV and AIDS. So I think when we are talking about issue of stigma and discrimination for PLHIV, uh, we can review the we can review our interventional process to to backdate how we started. Okay, very importantly, let's not forget how HIV programming came into play. There have been a lot of advancement and reviews in current days, but I think the first issue around HIV stigmatization started with the first time intervention around HIV came into play. Let me make this, let me put this in context. Example is that, if you go to the hospital today to see a doctor, and then you have, hepatitis, or you have, let's say, hypertension or diabetes, there won't be a lot of differentiation of care for you. Your care will be integrated into the usual services you get. But
Yeah.
from the beginning, HIV came with intervention to say, okay, that building over there is for HIV/AIDS. Do you understand? And if you understand the epidemiology of HIV, you know that the virulence of HIV is very low. It's not like other viral infections that comes in today, tomorrow the epidemic level is high, the death ratio is very high. Do you understand? The etiology of
Yeah.
HIV can take 10 to 15 years, for 20 years for some persons that have stronger immune
That's
system
true.
to even come to play. So there was no need in the first place to separate the services offering persons who are living with HIV to a separate building. There was no need to have separate practitioners in that area, because it's not a subspecialty. HIV is, a viral infection and can be treated by internal medicine doctors and, persons who are in public health. Do you get? So that
Yes.
differentiation and separation of services was actually the first time we started stigmatizing against persons who live with HIV. And ever since then, we have struggled to integrate HIV care into practices like family planning, into practices like routine care, we are yet to achieve that because we got it wrong from the foundation. So issues of stigmatization cuts across everywhere, even within the healthcare setting. There are healthcare workers that are stigmatized against, PLHIV. Do you get? So we stigmatize against them in a religious setting, in a cultural setting, in a familial setting. Do you get? So that, and even that people that lose their source of support in terms of emotional support, let's say spouse or something, because they are living with HIV. Do you get? And another thing is there's this quote unquote ideology that every person who has HIV got it from sexual immorality or infidelity, which is far from the truth. In as much as research has shown that this is where the basic or the major source of infection is. But this is not totality of it. Lots of persons get it from, needle prick at work and all. So we need to begin to redefine our discussions and review and, raise consciousness around, acceptance of person who live with HIV to be something that is normal, that is not something that is not abnormal. There are a lot of, daily illness, like cancer, that should even be like this, but it's not like this. So discussions have to be ongoing, engage, religious leaders, community stakeholders, keep on engaging healthcare workers to just ensure that these things are integrated, and by so we can have a comfortable service approach and intervention. Okay, thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. And this contribution is really one that we are actually been expecting. Yes. So it's we've taken note of that, and we believe that we're going to be we are going to achieve that together. So it's not a one person thing. So we need to work together collectively to achieve that. Yeah. So we'll be continuing the conversation in the next episode on Thursday. So please stay tuned for
Yeah,
more on this. Sorry, ma'am, you want to say something?
yeah. So before we close, just
Okay.
to because we deal on research, and then we like to act based on facts, and also putting into consideration the needs of these people. So I would like for us to come up with questionnaires, and then approach this the PL HIV people living with HIV, as we know, find
Okay.
out from them what they would love.
Mm.
When it comes to public health, we don't like imposing decisions or plans on the people that we are concerned about. So it's going to be a collective effort. So we'll come up with a questionnaire. I don't know, both
Okay.
of us will have to do that.
Sure,
So
sure, sure.
reach out to, maybe, let's say, I already have a facility here. So I don't know how many
Okay.
facilities you can work with, so that we'll find
Okay.
out from them if they are actually okay with the exclusion, excluding
Okay.
them or giving them a different place compared to other health systems. Because, one may think that is a form of privacy or confidentiality, but we never can tell, just as Mr. Antisong has said. Maybe they will want to, be in open space just like every other person, but I won't like us to assume. So we'll try and find out from the people we apply to know if that's what they actually want, or they are okay with the privacy. And then we'll also need to extend this to health workers, try to, talk to them about their approach when trying to handle cases that involves PL HIV. And then just to conclude about the stigmatization, with the whole mixed thing, we know that cultural beliefs and religions play a strong role. Up till now, you will see that it is so difficult, even as a health worker. I like to bring it home. Imagine that you want to take health talk or health education to your church. Everybody, including your pastor, will feel that you've come to, you want to teach the young ones about sex, Is that what you meant
Sex.
to learn? What are you
Exactly.
bringing
That's
to
usually one
church?
of the issues.
So I think this whole thing starts, it begins with us, in our local
Mm,
churches, because they already have this judgment, they already have this thing when one sex is mentioned or sex education is mentioned, even before HIV is mentioned,
mm,
because churches mostly preach abstinence, but of course you won't tell me that all the members are actually abstaining
from
sexual
sex.
activities. And then they
Mm,
fail to understand that HIV cannot be contracted only through sexual activities, or sexual
mm,
intercourse. There are different ways. So we need to start our sensitization from the grassroots, because that's the where we have the origin of the whole myth thing. It started from
mm,
the church, our forefathers, in our houses, our parents, you know. So because they already see it as a taboo, and in fact, if someone has HIV, they already conclude that it's punishment for waka waka, because we
that's
are
true.
dealing with youth, so we still try to simply use simple terms to explain this thing. So they already say, now waiting you they do before. This is
Do
why this thing they happen. So we need to change that mentality, remove such beliefs. It's not factual.
beliefs.
Yes, so
Mm,
based on falsehood. So we know that it's not only
mm,
through sex that people have HIV. And then
mm,
doesn't mean that someone is promiscuous, that's why the person had HIV, or the person is into drug abuse, that's why the person has HIV. We need to stop judging HIV people living with HIV. So
no.
that's that.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for this beautiful insights. It is indeed enlightening, and I believe, say, our women, our young girls, our young boys, them when they outside, they don't hear this conversation, and then they will feel adhered to this matter, and anybody will get this HIV thing, they don't go feel say, this one, I beg, you don already die, so maybe when I leave am dey waka as dead corpse dey go im own. So there won't be any issue of exclusion among peers as well. So we'll continue the conversation same time next week Thursday. So please stay tuned for more. Yeah. So for those of our young ones out there who are looking up for the right information, you're looking for who to talk to. Okay, fine, you're not comfortable walking into the health center. Please be comfortable enough to reach out to Belle by Choice. When you reach out to us, you speak to our health experts, and then they'll be able to guide you through the next step to take. Also, don't forget, as I mentioned earlier, our Chat for Health is available for you to place a call through, and then you get the right information. So you can see the numbers on the screen. So feel free at any point in time, any moment to reach out. Yeah, so see you again, same time next week
And
Thursday.
get
Bye.
tested.
Yeah, yes, that's most important. One of the most important thing is remember to go and check your status. You need to know your health status, and then play safe. Yeah, bye.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming on the call.
Thank you for always having
Thank
me.
you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Anciso, for the contribution.
Thank
It's
you so much. Thank
having
you.
enjoying. Yeah, yeah. So see you all same time next week. Yeah, bye.
Bye.